Hello YouTube. So this is actually the first video for AutoCAD tutorials, or the AutoCAD tutorials. This first video is going to be more of an introduction of myself, I guess, than it will be a tutorial. My plan for these videos is to maybe kind of either start off at the very basics of AutoCAD, going through the draw and modify commands, whatever, and then, eventually work our way up to, 3D modeling and rendering and lighting and all of the fun stuff. So I guess I'm looking maybe for a little bit of feedback from anyone that watches these on where I should start. Otherwise, I will just start out with, this is how you draw a line, the really boring stuff. So I figured I'd just start off with kind of a slideshow of where I could take you guys. Just some slideshows of some 3D models I did like a year and a half ago, a year ago, something like that. A lot of these textures I've made myself. So, I mean, I pretty much know about. Hold on here. Alright, so. Sorry, a little bit. Sorry, I'm a little bit sick today. I kind of lost my train of thought, but. So I'd like to eventually take you guys to, being able to create models like this, or even more advanced than that. And my biggest thing when it comes to 3D modeling is file size. 3D models take up a huge amount of space. I mean, it might not seem like it at first. Your files, a couple of megs here and there. But that grows exponentially wherever you're saving this stuff, depending on what your starting template is. And I'd maybe like to give my theory about that eventually, but let's go ahead and maybe kind of start the first video here. I'll fire up AutoCAD 2012. I would maybe in this video like to just go over the several different ways you can actually fire up a command. I know I can remember the first time I ever launched AutoCAD, and literally the first command I saw was the explode command, which looks like a kind of like a stick of dynamite, and I literally thought that whatever I drew here in model space, if I selected the object, it would literally just blow up and I'd see fireworks and everything. So, I mean, if you're pretty new to the software, you can get a little bit lost easily. So, I mean, don't fret about things like that. So, if you're an absolute beginner, newer versions of AutoCAD will launch this way. You'll just see it fire up. You can see here drawing 1. It starts off in the AutoCAD template, blank template. There's absolutely nothing in it. What I like to do is type in startup. So let's do that. And then hit enter. And you can see right down here, enter a new value for startup. I like to set that to 1, and I will show you what that does now. So if AutoCAD didn't crash, which it shouldn't have, you can actually close out. You can say no to this, and it will save that value we just set for the startup command now. So now you'll see the difference. It opens up the startup dialog, and you got 4 options here now. This here is select a file. If we've worked in AutoCAD recently, you would see a list of DWG files you could select from that you've worked on, yesterday, the day before, whatever. Or you can always browse out to a file through a select file dialog. The next option here is start from scratch, and you can choose imperial or metric. If I say OK here, it's going to open up just as it did use a couple of seconds ago. The next option here is templates. So these are the AutoCAD default templates. I'm not going to get into what a template is, and just a little quick note for some of the more advanced people, even if they're not quite familiar with this. If you've set up your own templates, there is a way to sorry, excuse me. There is a way to actually default this list to where you save your templates locally or on a server. So this is one of the main reasons why I actually use this startup dialog. I'm the CAD administrator for the company I work for, and this is how I set up everyone's computers. So it fires up the startup dialog. They can see the list of templates they need to start a new job from, and then they can go on from there, rather than having to browse out through 10-15 folders on our network drive to try to find a template. This next one here, I really won't get into too much. There's advanced setup and quick setup. It'll go through kind of like starting a drawing from scratch, except for it'll go through the options of here you got feet and inches for your units. It'll kind of go through your units. Do you want to work with decimal, architectural, scientific, surveyor's units? I'm sorry, actually scientific isn't a unit option on here. It'll set the direction you want your like rotate command and everything to work. We just won't get into that right now at the moment. So for now, let's just go start from scratch. We're just going to show you the different ways you can fire up a command though on this tutorial. So I'll try to set it back so if you're in a little bit earlier version, you'll be able to follow along, and then I'll move on to more of the advanced options. I'm sorry, I think I selected the wrong one. AutoCAD Classics. Alright, well, even some of the later versions should have the tool palette. I don't know. I think a lot of the earlier versions kind of suck. But anyways, you've got your options here of your toolbars. So here's our draw toolbar. Here is our modify toolbar. I'm not really going to touch base on any of the other ones at the moment. I'm just trying to keep it simple and a nice short video. So you can always access your commands through a toolbar. So here we got our line command. You can just select the button here, draw our line, and close it. Seems like my AutoCAD's running a bit slow, so we just close our line. And if you want to experiment, just go ahead and work your way down the draw toolbar, and then if you really want to, you can go ahead and work your way down the modify toolbar. You can go ahead and erase lines, mirror lines across the plane. You can see here. With toolbars, swing and a miss. With toolbars, you can go ahead and grab the tool grip, as I did here. It's pretty similar on other earlier versions too, and then you can go ahead and dock it. Oops. There we go. You can dock it onto a panel in AutoCAD. Should work pretty close to the same way on all the earlier versions. So you can see I just stock modify and draw onto another panel, and it just continuously expands the panel. Here we've got our layers toolbar. You can see if we had a list of layers, they would populate this scroll bar. Here's our properties, so we can control colors of layers, the line type, whether we want a continuous or dash dot or dash dash, our line weights, so the thickness of the lines. So one way to get to a command is through the toolbars. The second way is right up here. You can see we've got our menu bar. Okay, here we go. So in here is our pull down menu for file, edit, and logic would suggest we had our draw toolbar here, and we have our modify toolbar here. We could go to draw, pull down menu, and find the same command. So here we got our line command again. We can do all of the same stuff. Again, modify. Last time I did erase. We can go to erase, and we just erased everything. The other way was what you saw before. We've got a toolbar here. I'm sorry, a tool palette. And we can find the draw palette here, and again can access our commands this way. Line, modify was in here. Again, we could erase everything, and so on through the modify and draw commands. See, we got 1, 2, 3. The fourth way you can do it. So over here we have the line command. The command for line is line. You can actually physically type it in, L-I-N-E. Line, enter or spacebar. Spacebar and enter will return the same value in AutoCAD. You don't actually have to click into this command line before you start a command. And you can see I am in the line command again. And again, I can just type in erase in the command line, go ahead and erase my objects. The 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth way you can do it, and this is my preference. I have my reasons for doing this. I think it's the overall fastest way you can do it, is through an alias. And an alias, again, is it's just a keyboard entry. I don't have to click into the command line. I can be floating around here in model space. And typically an alias is the first, second, or third letter of the name of the command. So line, L enter. I click away. Sorry, my AutoCAD's running a bit slow at the moment. And there we go. I drew my line, erase, E enter, enter. Otherwise, you can always hit the delete button for erase. But anyways, the third option is through the ribbon. So here you can see my ribbon, and again, same deal. In newer versions, well, 2009 and up was when they first introduced the ribbon. It kind of depends on what the workspaces you have here. So if I'm on 3D modeling, my home tab is not going to have these commands on it, but I'm in AutoCAD Classics, so for the time being I'm not going to get too advanced. We can access the line command this way and draw away. Sorry for my AutoCAD kind of running slow. And then the erase, kind of in the same in the same ribbon tab. We've got our draw panel, modify panel, layers again. If we had multiple layers in here, annotations, so we can add text, dimensions. So the modify panel, here we've got our erase tool. Go ahead and just get rid of that again. So select the objects and hit space, spacebar I mean, or enter. I think that is all I'm going to get into at the moment. I'm going to wait to see if maybe I get feedback, and if I don't get anything, I'll just go ahead and continue a second video, kind of basically start the tutorials out at the really basic level. So I'll be starting off at the boring crap unless I get any sort of feedback. I get a good amount of people saying they'd rather start off with some more advanced stuff, like just jumping right into 3D or whatever. Then I'll go ahead and do that. But otherwise, yeah, I'm just gonna work my way through the draw and modify commands, and then kind of work my way up from there until I get into the 3D stuff. So subscribe, whatever, like, comment, all the usual crap people say on YouTube. I don't know, I've never really created a video before, so leaving it up to you guys.